Hey, Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into our Pittsburgh Steelers mailbag video where you, the subscriber, have asked us plenty of mailbag questions. I pulled the best 6 or 7. We're going to go through them here in about 10 minutes. First, though, if you want to get in on next week's mailbag video, as always, for those of you who are brand new, use the hashtag Steelers to start your question down below right now in the comment section. So just scroll down below, type hashtag Steelers, and then ask any basic question. And the secret is the hashtag Steelers helps me find your question. It makes it easier for me to go ahead and pull it. Must be subscribed in order to get your question answered on the show. So we'll just go down below, hit the red subscribe button, ask a question, and then stay tuned for next week's mailbag video. But for those of you who asked questions in last week's mailbag video, you can go ahead and get them answered hopefully today. So we'll start with Jaden Shaw, who says, "You think the Steelers will trade for another person who they see potential in, hasn't shown quite it on the team they're on again, like they did with Minkah?" Now, Minkah had shown a lot more potential than I think the question that you're asking here. I mean, Minkah was very clearly, a top talent safety. I think he was going to be fantastic even with Miami and then traded over. But I think that the name that sticks out right now is Andre Dillard. Like, Andre Dillard is available. If you don't know who Andre Dillard is, he is a left tackle in Philadelphia. First-round draft pick in 2019, who tore his biceps after 2019 and then really just lost out the left tackle job to Jordan Mailata, who, Eagles fans are a big fan of him, and he's definitely going to be a potential star in the NFL. But it's very clear that Dillard, a former first-round draft pick from a couple of years ago, is the odd man out. And so they have received phone calls, according to sources in Philadelphia, according to different reports that teams are calling. And I think Pittsburgh could be one of those football teams. As you look around the Steelers' offensive line, or just the rest of their entire roster, offensive line continues to be the big question mark, right? I mean, are they going to go trade for a wide receiver? Are they going to go trade for a cornerback? Are they going to trade for I just don't think they need those positions. And I think that if they wanted to go ahead and make one final move before the start of the season, if they didn't feel good about their offensive line, I think that they do. I don't think you need to go make this move. But if they thought that they needed to go ahead and make a move, Andre Dillard is definitely available and is one of those guys who was not able to, or hasn't been able to prove himself in Philadelphia, and yet was drafted in the first round for a reason. And so we'll throw him out there on the list. But I think the odds of the Steelers making any more moves, I just don't see as being a very real likelihood. I think the team is pretty much set. But there's a player out there that you want the Eagles, if you want the Steelers to go ahead and trade for. Go ahead and name that player. So if you want the Steelers to trade for a player, give me a name of who you would want down below right now in the comment section. All right, let's jump into John's question. Hashtag Steelers. If JuJu doesn't resign, what are some destinations for him? First off, I think JuJu will resign. I'll talk about that in just one second. But I think the 4 teams that were interested in him last year are still going to be the 4 teams that would be interested in him next year if he doesn't resign. Like, Philadelphia was very interested in JuJu Smith-Schuster, reportedly had an offer for more than what the Steelers had offered. And JuJu, of course, as we know, came back to Pittsburgh. The Jets are going to have plenty of money. And if they like what they saw in Zach Wilson, then they could very easily bring in another star receiver to give him more weapons, right? You get a young quarterback who has some potential. And then, much like the Bills did with Stephon Diggs, to go ahead and help out Josh Allen, you could see that happening with the Jets. The Chiefs were interested in last year. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to get money to sign JuJu Smith-Schuster, nor do they need him. So I don't think it'll be a Kansas City Chief. And of course, the Baltimore saga, you saw that. I mean, I don't think he's going to play for Baltimore. I think once you're a Steeler, it's very hard to be like, well, Baltimore's going to offer me $1 million more. I'm going to go play in Baltimore. Like, I just don't think it's really there. I mean, the big rivalries in the NFL, teams or players do switch over, but it's just very unlikely. So I'd say Philadelphia and the Jets would be 2 of the leaders in the clubhouse right there, but there'll be other teams, right? If a team has a need at wide receiver, like sign JuJu. I think JuJu will come back, though. I think that there really isn't a fear that he's going to leave unless they have a terrible season and he doesn't like the future at quarterback or something like that happens. But I would predict that JuJu comes back. But those are the teams if you wanted some destinations for where he could possibly go. Before we keep going, quick shout out to our friends at BetUS and your chance to go ahead and get into the betting game by not only getting a massive deposit bonus, but using our link and then betting on the Steelers. So here's what you do. On your screen, you see jetsports.com/bet. You go to that link, put it up in Google above me somewhere right here, and then use the promo code Steelers125 to get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. You put $100 down, use our promo code Steelers125, and then boom, it turns into $225 for your betting pleasure. Right now, some of these money lines I think are very much in your favor if you want to get to betting. Ben Roethlisberger's over-under is 4,000 yards right now. The money line is minus 115, right? And then you have Najee Harris plus 750 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. You put $100 down, you win $750 if he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. TJ Watt plus 800 to win Defensive Player of the Year, right? That's plus 800. So you put $10 down, you win 80. You put $100 down, you win 800. I mean, crazy amounts of money you could possibly win here. Do with our friends at BetUS. Again, our link, chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Steelers125. Okay, Howard Parker says, which running backs do you feel will be cut from the roster? This is tough. I think they might keep 5. Now, 5 is a lot. Now, in reality, it's 4, and then Derek Watt is your number 5. But I think these are the 5 that they're going to keep. I think they're going to keep Harris. I think they're going to keep Ballage. I think they're going to keep Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland, and then Watt is a fullback, but he's slated there as a running back. If there was one who's going to be in the odd man out, it's Jalen Samuels. I think he for sure is the odd man out. If there's a second one, it's between Snell and McFarland. I think they like Ballage. I think they like Snell as well. I would probably go McFarland, and then, of course, as I mentioned, Jalen Samuels. But I think they're going to keep 4 because, again, we expect Najee Harris to be the workhorse back, and he should be the workhorse back, but you'll want to have a little bit of depth there just in case, which I don't think it's going to hurt or anything, but, just in case. And so I think it'll be those 5, again, 4 plus Derek Watt, and I think that you're going to go ahead and see Jalen Samuels be the odd man out. Now, cuts are coming, and the final 53-man roster will be revealed at the probably end of day on August 31st. It's going to be the kind of final cut time for that one. And so make sure you guys are subscribed to our channel, as we will have full coverage of who they cut and a full breakdown of the 53-man roster here as it happens. And so help us not only get to 4,000 subscribers, but stay subscribed. That way you're notified whenever we drop our latest videos here on the channel. So again, we're very close to 4K, which is crazy. We're growing at lightning speeds. We appreciate each and every one of you who has subscribed. But if you guys want to be up to date for the latest Steelers news and rumors, make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button. Steelers Gang says, Steelers question, where do you think Najee Harris will rank this year among the other 31 running backs? I think he's going to be good. And now I was curious what other people are saying in terms of stat projection. Fantasy football has stat projections every single year. Here's ESPN's most recent stat projection for Najee Harris. 232 carries, 971 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 51 catches. That is a ton of touches as a whole. If he has that sort of stat, that's top 15 running back range easily. I think Harris can be a top 15 back in the National Football League. Now, I'm not saying top 5, not saying top 10, because there are a lot of elite running backs in the National Football League. You can Google the top running back from each team. Every single team has a pretty much legit top 15 chance at running back, except for a few of them. So I think if you have that stat line, you're right there around top 15. I think that's all he needs to be. He doesn't need to be the best running back in the National Football League. He does need to be good. He obviously can't be a bust, but I think he's going to be better than most, kind of towards the top tier of running backs. Most teams have 2 running backs, or really there's 64 running backs, so you put him in the top 15, and that's the top third of the league. And so I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be really, really good, and I'm pumped to see what he can do going forward. And everyone loves what he has shown so far in training camp, based on everything that I have read and heard. How many TDs do you think Harris will have? ESPN says 7 rushing touchdowns, which is a lot. They had also 2 receiving touchdowns, so 9 total touchdowns. That's good fantasy numbers, right? How many touchdowns do you think Harris will have this year in 2021? Give me your response down below right now in the comments section. Anything over 7 is a massive accomplishment for a rookie running back. That's my take, but give me your thoughts down below. We'll do a couple more here. Epic Adams says, when do you think Minka Fitzpatrick should get an extension? Soon. It's surprising it hasn't happened, I'll be honest with you. Between Minka and TJ Watt, more on Watt in a second, I am surprised it has not happened. For me, I'd want to get it done before the start of the NFL season, especially if you're Minka, because that way you have this much security going forward in case there's an injury. But I would assume soon, and that's the best I can do. I have no idea. I thought it was going to be months ago, and it didn't happen. So we know it's coming. We know that their priority, though, is TJ Watt, and they got to figure out the Watt extension, because there are rumors he wants $100 million guaranteed, and it's just like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. So I think they want to go Watt first, then they want to go Minka, and then mix in maybe like a Joe Hayden's contract out there as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. If something were to happen, we'll break it down. But we know these guys are going to be paid. We know they're going to be Steelers for, the next contract, maybe the rest of their careers. I would want them to be, but we'll see how long the contract actually lasts. But both these guys are going to get paid. I just don't know how much longer they're going to have to wait, because the season is, very soon. Okay, we'll squeeze in Wolfpack's question here. Can Big Ben's arm last 17 weeks plus a deep playoff run? I don't know. I think so. I don't think the Steelers would have him as their number 1 quarterback if they didn't think that he would. This is a playoff team. You have to expect that Big Ben is going to play more than 17 games, whether it's 18 games, 19 games. How deep are they going to go in the overall season? But I do think that they are going to be. I think that he's going to be just fine. I would not be worried about his arm at all, because the Steelers don't seem to be worried about his arm at all either. Okay, ultimate for today here on our show. Gonna make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and follow me on Twitter. If you didn't get any of your questions in today, follow me on Twitter right now, and I'll answer your questions as quickly as I can. At Real Thomas Mott is the place to go. I do a lot of Steelers tweets and a lot of Steelers retweets, so go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter at Real Thomas Mott. And then, of course, if you have a mailbag question, you want to get it down below in the mailbag in the comments section right now, using the hashtag Steelers, and make sure you guys are a subscriber, because that is how it works here. You got to be subscribed to the channel in order to go ahead and get your question answered. Go down below, use the hashtag Steelers for our next upcoming video. Ultimately for today here on our Pittsburgh Steelers mailbag video, I'm your host Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.